It's Fox 26 Crime Files. Thanks for being here. Starting off today, we have two people locked up accused of breaking into a cop's house multiple times, trying to take a shotgun, and accused of leaving sex toys. It's James Frazier and Brianna Miles. The prosecutor in the case says that Frazier has a very lengthy criminal history.
The aggravating nature of this case is that he had a gun in the home while the complainant was there, and thank goodness that nothing happened to anybody, and we're all here to, everyone's alive is the most important thing. But now we have to consider how the ramifications of what this defendant could do in our community if we were to let him out on bond, and that's one of the reasons why I approached to raise the bond today.
Now, we also talked to the cop whose house was broken into, and he says that the home was for sale and staged at the time. He just swung by to check in on it and found some unwanted visitors on multiple occasions. This interview is really great, so we're going to run the whole thing for you uncut.
This past Sunday, my wife and I and my kid, my 1-year-old boy, we went to the house to check on it. Things of that nature, and then while we parked in front of the house, we noticed that the screen to the window was bent. That was unusual because we didn't do it. So then we entered the home. There's a room right to the left after you pass the front door, and we noticed that there was clothes everywhere. We left it clean. It's a clean house. We didn't leave it like that, obviously. So heart was pumping. And then immediately after we saw that there was the clothes were all over the floor and it was rummaged through, we heard some noise down the hall. Down the hall is where the rest of the bedrooms are at. So we heard a noise, and then I was carrying my baby, and I immediately gave it to my wife, and I told her, hey, let's get the hell out of here. So we parked. So we went towards my truck. I grabbed my off-duty weapon, and I went back into the house, and I started yelling out, police, come out. And then even though I wasn't in uniform, I just said, hey, whoever's in here, come out.
Still a cop.
Yeah. So that's when I was approached. That's when this guy, Frazier, came out, and he's wearing my clothes. And then he comes out at the same time with my shotgun. So he comes towards me, and we're maybe 3 feet away, and I notice that he has a shotgun in my hand. So I snatch the shotgun from him, and I'm still pointing my off-duty weapon at him, yelling at him, get out of my house, get out of my house, get out of my house. And then he runs out telling me there's somebody else in there. So I run, so he's running down the street, and my attention was to the other person, the unknown person that's in my house. Could have been a guy or girl. He didn't tell me. So then, so I had a shotgun on my left hand, a pistol on my right, so I chose shotgun. So, and then I noticed that there was a shell that was stuck in there that I never loaded. I never loaded. I'm assuming he was trying to load it, but couldn't load it. I guess he has no training in the shotgun, right? So the copper end of the shell was trying to push that in. So yeah, I got it backwards. So I fixed it, loaded up more rounds into it, and then put the firearm in my pocket, put the handgun in my pocket, went in there. I have training in shotgun. I'm firearms instructor, so kind of know what to do, tactical. So I go in there, start yelling out some more, and that's when the woman comes out. I believe her name is Brianna Miles. She comes out naked, and she's her hands up, and then she yells out. She's like, sorry, and then she just runs out. HPD finally shows up. I pointed to HPD. I put down all my weapons, and I told them, hey, HPD, there she goes right there. HPD puts her in custody. Couldn't find Frazier, because I was long gone at that point. So then, after all that was said and done, my wife and I were cleaning up the house. I know. While I was cleaning up the house, I noticed that Frazier left his jail ID card in my bedroom. So then I called HPD officer, and I told him, hey, this is him. This is for sure him. And then, so then that happens. He gets it. He's telling me he's gonna file a 2B warrant, and so on. So then the next day, my wife gets off of work around 1:30. She gets to the house around 2. I'm working an extra job, and I'm full uniform. She goes to the house. She gets there first. She opens the door. She noticed that a liquor bottle was out of its place, and it was placed on my kitchen table. So then she immediately closes it because she's by herself. She tells me, yeah, somebody's either been here or here. So I tell her, okay, hang up, call 911. I'm on my way. I left my extra job. I'm in uniform. I'm going, and I get there within like 25 minutes. And then I search the house. There's nobody in there. But I go into the master bedroom, and I found out somebody's been here again. I found there's like 5 dildos. There's a journal. There's cell phone wires. Things like that. That's all I could find. Again, the liquor bottle was out of place. Water bottle looked like it was drank out of. Then I found out that the way they've been getting in is the master window was left unsecured, basically unlocked. So that's how we've been finding out that that's how they've been getting in. They've been jumping the fence and getting in through there. So then I'm finding out ways let's secure the window. Let's secure all the windows, secure the fence and everything. Put another lock on it. And I told her, you know what? My mom wants to get rid of one of her dogs. Let me go get her dog and bring it back and you leave it in the backyard just to maybe deter anybody else. So then that same day, which is Monday, at 7 p.m., I went to go pick up my mom's dog on my way to my house. And on the same street going towards my house, I see Frazier. And I roll right past him, and I look, and I'm turning, and I'm watching him. I go, that's him. He's wearing my clothes. So I get to the end of, because I have a corner lot. So I get to the end of the street, I make a right, and then I make a U-turn. And then at this point, he's on the side of my house, and he's just kind of like pacing slowly and looking around. So when I pass him up the second time, it's confirmation that it's him. The tattoo on his cheek, his hair, he's literally wearing my sweater, my shorts, my boots, and a chain. So I drive. Oh yeah. So I drive 2 streets down, and I park where he can't see my truck. I put my whole uniform back on because I took it off from the get-go, from when I got off my EJ. I put my whole uniform on. I still have my shotgun, and then I come out the street again, and he's disappeared at this point. He's gone. I don't know where he's at. So I drove by my house. Sure enough, I see him in my backyard by the gate. I have a metal fence where you can see through, right? I can see his whole left side. He's hiding. So and now at this point, I'm thinking he's kind of being familiar with my truck. Maybe he knows that it's me because I'm driving slow. So I pass by, make another U-turn, pass by one more time for the 4th time, and it's him. I know it's him. So then I make another U-turn. I stop at a house, like maybe a street down. I'm looking at my house, turn the lights off, and then moments later, within like maybe 10, 15 seconds, he jumps out of my backyard, and he's back on the main street. And he's walking down. He gets to another street, makes a right, and at that point, I'm kind of like have a sense of urgency. Like I want to get this guy. HPD's not showing up yet. So then I turn down that street, I park, I get right behind him, I get out, I announce myself as an officer, say, police, get down. He doesn't, at first he's like, well, what did I do? I said, get down, kept giving him commands, and then he runs off. I'm chasing him with a shotgun. And then I take out my taser, I'm yelling out, taser, 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 and then that's when he finally kind of like gives up. He stops at a house in his driveway, gets on his knees, and then kept giving him commands. He finally gets on his stomach. Then I place him in custody. I walk him all the way from there, all the way to my house, and then stand him on the corner, and then wait for HPD.
Can't make that stuff up. Now, this next case, it's not technically criminal yet, but we have to tell you about it. A Houston woman is suing a Dollar Tree and a local shopping plaza after she claims a man ejaculated on her while she was inside the store. She was one of 3 women who says the man did this. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle has that story.
A Houston woman who chooses to remain anonymous tells Fox 26 she was visiting this Dollar Tree in the River Oaks area December 5th with a friend when a man walks behind her and whispered things sexually explicit in nature.
He said he would my that, he wanted to have me.
The woman says after being shocked for a few seconds, she turned around, yelled for him to get away, and walked to her friend on a different aisle. After checking out her items, she made a gruesome discovery outside in the car.
I feel this cold in my back, like in my buttocks. And I said, oh, I feel it. I think I'm wet. And when she looked at me, she just panicked. She's like, oh my God.
The woman went back inside the store and found out other women reported similar incidents.
I just got sexually assaulted in your store. And she turns around and she yells in Spanish, not knowing that I am bilingual. And she says, oh, another one. We just have another one. And I was like so stunned. I'm like, what do you mean you have another one? She's like, you're the third case in less than 4 days.
Since then, the lawsuit alleges her incident report has not been followed up. Requests for any store surveillance video of the incident have been ignored. Her attorney claims the Dollar Tree location is negligent for not taking the allegations seriously. Anna Greenberg says the store is inadequately staffed, contributing to more crime.
What's the point of having video surveillance footage if you're not going to actually use it to prevent crimes or properly address crimes that have been reported?
The Houston Rodeo confirms their former general counsel was arrested for solicitation of a minor. Investigators say they caught Jeffrey Downing in a sting operation, sexting with who he thought was a 15-year-old girl. Predators getting to your kids, but we're not talking about the ones lurking at the park or handing candy out of a van. They're inside your home without walking through your door. You know what we're getting at. They're in your kids' devices, like this one and this one.
We were using a persona of a 15-year-old female, and so these were all obviously undercover officers that were, posing as 15-year-old female. And so it culminated in him asking for pictures of her naked, and he also sent pictures of himself in the nude.
That's Precinct 1 Constable Alan Rosen. He's talking about this guy, Jeffrey Downing, who's now charged with soliciting a minor. The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo says that Downing is their general counsel, but said in this email that he never had direct contact with children during his time there, and now he's on administrative leave.
She said she was at school, and he asked her to go to the restroom and take pictures of herself, so that makes it, it enhances it to a second-degree felony.
We came out here to Downing's neighborhood and made contact with who we believe is his family, but they made it clear they didn't want to comment.
This is just another example of somebody that is educated and comes from a very good family and obviously has a problem.
The strangers are in your home without walking in.
They're in your home. That's the scariest thing. They're there. They have access to your children.
And this is Tanya Jordan, the Chief Parent Officer at Bark Technologies.
Bark is technology that helps to protect close to 7 million children across the nation by monitoring children's social media and alerting parents to dangers and offering parents a safer smartphone for children.
She says apps like Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram are all opportunities for predators to pounce. And if your kid does get caught up in some trouble on one of these apps,
be a safe place, remain calm, and get your head out of the sand. Know that good kids make bad choices.
New on Crime Files, we got our hands on the search warrant applications for Downing's devices, and they give us some more disturbing details on exactly what was said in these conversations. Dozens of pages outline exactly what investigators claim Downing said to who he thought was a 15-year-old girl on the messaging app Kik. The records say Downing messaged the girl who was actually an undercover cop on April 13th. They say he admitted to being 45 years old, and the girl replied saying she was 15. They say eventually he asked her, "Do you hook up with your stepdad?" saying, quote, "Young is okay to me, just imagining what it would be like." Later in the documents, they say Downing messaged the girl, quote, "I just shut my office door because I'm getting turned on thinking about it," saying there were hundreds of coworkers in the building at the time. They say he then asked the girl to go into her school bathroom to send him nude photos. They say that he sent a nude photo himself and promised to buy the girl gifts off Amazon if she did the same. The Houston Rodeo confirms that Downing is no longer a part of their staff. Moving on here, a violent offender shot a man just to steal his catalytic converter. And now he's only looking at 6 years behind bars. Fox 26's Randy Wallace has this story in his Breaking Bond series.
Ricky Joyner's the one that rolled the dice, and he came out a total winner.
Back in 2020, Ricky Joyner shot you while he was trying to steal your catalytic converter.
Yeah, absolutely. He actually ambushed me and shot me while I was pulling his buddy out from underneath the car that was stealing the catalytic converter. And he almost killed me. You know, his intention was to kill me. Actually, today is my birthday, Randy. I'm 50 years old. I might not be here right now had I not been able to defend myself and fire back.
He pleads guilty to shooting you. He got 6 years. The judge sentenced him to 6 years.
6 years for trying to kill somebody over a catalytic converter.
You've done both. You've done the defense side, you've done the prosecutor side.
Right.
6 years is pretty low for shooting someone.
6 years is pretty low when someone could have died.
So he's a wanted fugitive 2 times.
Twice. He had forfeited his bond in less than a year.
And what I'm interested in finding out is what the DA's offer was to this defendant before he absconded versus after.
In 2022, he's offered 10 years in a plea agreement. He runs, he flees, but he gets a better deal with 6 years.
You can't script this. It simply, like I said, it defies logic.
Didn't he get rewarded for going on the run?
Well, that's exactly what it seems like. Yeah, so go on the run. They never even charged him with an additional charge of jumping his bond.
6 years on the sentence, and it took 4 years for finally this case to get found guilty. So,
what do you think about that?
That's just nonsensical to me.
It's just a wild story. Well, that's it for this week's Fox 26 Crime Files. I'm your host, Abigail Dye. I'll see you next week.